What's up? What is up, everybody? How is everybody doing on a Tuesday night? Another freaking rainy day. It's going to rain all day tomorrow. Oh my god, what a it's been just a freaking from last Friday. It's been a kind of whirlwind for me. As a little small business owner, a really small business owner, one of my big expenses is my truck. I've had it for 6 years. I just paid this thing off. Last payment, title in my hand, and transmission went up. And transmission is not going to be cheap. Oh my goodness gracious. It's been raining. So right now we're going to have Rashawn come on. We actually have two guests tonight. One kind of came at the last minute. I was going to set it up for another time, and I just texted her really early today and asked her if she wanted to come on, and she said yes. So we set everything up. So I am excited to have her on, but I'm really excited to have on my buddy here, Rashawn. We're going to bring him up. Hold on for a second, as we do. Oh, he's not Cindy. He's Rashawn. There's Rashawn. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
So you just had one tournament go by with Snakeheads. Now he's with the Legion of Anglers. He's got a shirt on right there, and they just had their tournament. Not it was last weekend, right?
The well, this tournament that was this past weekend was Virginia Kayak Anglers Elite.
I mean, the weekend. It was the weekend before.
Not yeah, this weekend, it was last month. It was last month.
How did everything go? Any hiccups or?
No, honestly, man, the tournament went really well. We had 46 anglers. Everybody's pretty pleased with it. They had the trophies. Everything's well organized. We didn't have any really hiccups, nothing like that. I mean, it went really well. Me, Steve, Tommy, and the rest of the Legion. We're trying to run this as professional as possible and not have any issues. At the same time, be professional, competitive, but have fun.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be, and I'm just glad that the support came out to it. I know a lot of guys like fishing for Snakehead.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bass tournaments. We're not going to have a bass tournament because there's another club, Mid Atlantic Kayak Bass Fishing, which is sponsored by DPS as well. So that's if you want to get into that, get into the bass on that side. But if you want to fish a tournament to try to win the big bass, hey, we got a side pot. That side pot's be big.
Yeah. So it was a tough go. I mean, the way I was hearing it seemed like it was for all the 40 guys. It was kind of a tough day. I mean, some of these guys took a really long drive. Now this is a kayak, and anybody's listening, this is actually a kayak tournament, and it was a northern snakehead tournament. And I won't lie to you. I'm going to be the next couple of weeks. The next couple of weeks is really going to be emphasizing on largemouth bass. That's where my heart is. That's when you guys see that blow up or you talk about snakeheads, that's how passionate I was about bass. So we're definitely going to be bringing on, but we're going to really emphasize on the women part of it. And that's what we got Cindy coming on. But Matt ended up winning, and I know a couple of guys like Eddie.
So right now, hold on, I tell you. I'm looking at the stats for our tournament. Matt Palm, Justin Sellers, and Damon Cook, world record holder. They finished the top three. I mean, first, second, and third. I gotta say, Justin Sellers has been putting the time and work in to compete, and he got himself where he needed to be. I gotta give that guy a lot of credit. Because he fished a lot of snakehead tournaments and a lot of skunks and put in the grind. Matt Palm put a lot of the grind in. Damon's put a grind in, and he's a good fisherman and a great dude. All of them are great guys.
All of them. I mean, I won't lie. For a guy that's a really loves bass like you guys like Snakehead, I really spent a lot more time talking about Snakehead and really, like promoting you guys and stuff because I don't know, it's still a fish in the Chesapeake Bay, and it's really. I'll put it to you this way. I've told this to Steven. It's got people out. It's got people actually fishing that probably hasn't fished in a while. Somebody that wasn't interested in fishing, got them interested in fishing. So, hey, getting people interested in fishing. A lot of women in there fishing for them. So, it's not a bad thing.
So I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I know we talk about snakehead, but let's talk about this bass. I'm be honest. So I grew up in Jersey, so I got to fish for all different species, pike and all that. When I moved to South Carolina, bass fishing is different in the South compared up here.
Oh
So I'm
yeah.
kind of like, so I don't even like fishing for bass up here because it's not the same. I mean, it's the same technique during certain times, but the fish are bigger, they fight harder. They're just totally different than up here. I've started to notice fish that are not tidal bass are
Hmm.
different than regular non-tidal bass. I've noticed that
Right.
in Loch Raven as well. Now Loch Raven has some huge bass.
Hmm. Yes, I do. It's been a
I
while
got
since
my
I've been up there.
yeah, I got a 25 and a 26 out of there inch bass. So I mean that's I've caught some big fish bass on tidal too, but you know,
Idle's a different, I didn't realize it. Fishing that. When me and my buddy really started fishing, I didn't, I could, won't lie to you, didn't know crap when it really mattered about tide and current and how the positions. But when I lived over on the Western Shore, I
mhm.
was fishing, gunpowder. I was fishing um, Middle River and stuff like that. I hit Susquehanna every once in a while, um, but that's basically where I did all my fishing at. And when I moved over here to the Eastern Shore, good grief, it's a completely different it's you got to get used to the current because it's a river. So I mean, it's a fast moving current, and it's very frustrating. That's why I almost stopped using anything Texas rig and stupid ass wacky worm, and I didn't really. I got tired of freaking, I won't lie to you, I just got tired of using it because it was frustrating. So I ended up being more of a power fisherman now. So I'm a crankbait fool.
Yeah. So hey, well, Butch Huber, good friend of mine, also real all American fishing charter.
Mhm.
So if you need to try to catch a snakehead, that's the guy you want to reach out to. Got to plug him. Can't forget him.
Yep, there's Butch
Um,
right there.
but he makes the point. He says bass that live with snakehead hit harder. They do. I've noticed that they're harder and they're bigger too. And some of the smaller ones are just as aggressive
Yeah,
as. So they're in competition. I mean, they're all in competition, kind of, but they're eating just as amount. And I've seen a lot of smaller bass still alive. Um, everybody can argue. I found bass and snakehead or perch in there, but you know, I
they're
don't
gonna
want to
eat.
guess that. Yeah,
They're gonna eat each other, man.
bro. I'm be honest with you. Like some of the places to fish that, like that's not touched by a lot of people, or even touched by certain people, like they're not fishing for bass. The bass are still there. You know what I mean? A lot of people are keeping bass, so that's why. If you think about it, look at how a lot of people go catch buckets and buckets of crappie.
Right.
I could tell you a place right now that has snakehead and crappie in there, but no bass at all, and
Really.
bluegill. But there's a ton of crappie in there and a ton of snakehead, and yeah, it's crazy. I just found this.
I've never eaten. For me growing up, me being, the Bassmasters and all that stuff, being into that, we didn't realize down south, man, they eat bass all the time. Up, most time, like I
The
seen
smaller
people get,
ones.
they get hell when you see people bringing out stringers of bass to take them home to eat. And
Well,
I've never had one.
so and a lot of people don't understand this. So if you got a pond, like for example, I'm gonna give you Stansbury down in Dundalk, has a ton of bass in there,
Hmm.
but there's a ton of little bass in there. So you're not gonna get any bigger bass if you don't take some out. If you got a ton of little bass, they're just
Yeah,
gonna be the same.
that was like
You know what I
Centennial.
mean?
That was
Yeah,
Centennial Lake. They asked you to take some of the smaller ones out.
yeah. So as long as they stay within the legal limit and they take them, then
Hmm.
I understand that. Or
Yeah, that's
or
like
maybe
we.
take them out and put them somewhere else that don't have any bass. You know what I mean? I mean
Yeah.
it's yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, we can get through all that. So what did Matt end up? He got the big fish and first place. What did he end up walking away with?
Yo, he walked over like 2 grand, man. Over 2 grand. The big bass was his buddy Carl.
Oh,
Uh
really?
yeah. And he got 17. It's a 17-inch bass, I think. The
He's
only one that's caught for that day.
There's George Short. There you go.
Yeah. I don't, man. He said the snakehead definitely hurt the Potomac hands down. You know how many blue cats is in there?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm telling
Like,
you, what? Look, I've seen it now when on the Potomac. I think it's a different situation. I watched a guy fish a dock, and he pulled out 6 fish, and I swear to God, there was 3 snakeheads and 3 bass under the same dock. And
hmm.
so, I mean, I think down there, I think Steven has made it. When you talk of Potomac is a lot deeper, a lot more area to go. It can get deeper. It's not as shallow as somewhere like we talk about the Blackwater, where I mean, you go down to the Chick, and sometimes you got barely 1 foot of water all the way down that river. You know what I mean? So every place is going to be.
So I don't see, and like I mean, I fish a lot, and I fish down in the Potomac, and I've noticed I caught like the VKE tournament. I caught over 20 bass, and I only caught 2 snakehead. But if
Yeah,
you throw out, I marked over 100 something blue cats. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I
Hmm.
don't. But I mean, the boat fishing guys did a lot down there. The snakehead down there are a little bit bigger and are smarter. But there's a lot of blue cats down. There's a whole lot more blue cats than what everybody. I'm telling you, I was looking and I was like, I was watching Campbell. He's like, watch. He was fishing this point and he nailed 2 blue cats. I was like, man. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's different studies from different people, and yeah.
Tommy Robinson. So, all right. So we got the second leg of the tournament coming up this Sunday. So have you guys changed anything from the first tournament? Just
No,
something?
no, we're not changing anything.
Yeah,
Nothing's
I
going to
mean,
be
like,
changed. It's just a different location.
okay, you're going to be at Mariner Park out of Joppatown. How busy would that be on a Sunday morning? I might be if it's nice out. You guys are going to be there early, right?
Yeah, 4. I'll be there at 4 o'clock. Well, so I'll be there early. Might have to be there early because I have the boards. I got
Right.
some boards coming. They'll be here before that. So if people got to get pickup boards and want to come and get them, I'll be there for them to get it.
Right.
Because
So finally, you're getting the boards. I think people have been waiting a long time for that. Uh, a long time for them, but they're all starting to come in. Is that what it is?
they're on the first batch will be on their way. Um, yeah, so hopefully we'll have depending. I don't know how many's going to be coming. I think the first 100 will be here. We had 250. So
Do you have an estimate on how many guys are going to be fishing this tournament so far?
far I got 15.
15. So last time, did everybody kind of just get into it right at the last minute?
It built up to it. It built up, and then at the end it came. So we'll see what happens. I mean, everybody always waits till. All I got to say is this: either you fish it or not, your opportunity to win a kayak for the championship, you have to
Yeah.
fish 2 tournaments,
Right.
and to do that, you're not going to be able to qualify, even if you don't fish the next. If you fish the next one, then you're in. But this is a tournament, and we try to run it right, do it good, have as many people as possible, so everybody have fun and be like, oh, I know some people get discouraged. I understand that,
Yeah. Hey,
but
fishing's fishing, man. I mean,
yeah,
when you got Eddie Weber out there, you got Damien out there, and them guys struggled that day. So, you know, I know Colin that talked to me, and I keep telling him sometimes I got that bass fisherman in me going like, he was saying how he had some short strikes. I'm like, man, you need to have like a flipping stick where you can flip something in right behind it. Now, no, snakeheads will come back and bite something that like a bass will. Sometimes if you miss that bass short, you can throw something in right after it and sometimes catch that fish.
all right. So follow-up bait is always good for a snakehead.
Yeah.
If they don't feel hooks and they don't go anywhere, they're going to hit it again, possibly. You know what I mean? If they didn't feel hooks, so you can do that. Bass is just crazy, so they just hit it.
And opening up a big can of, hey man, you're George. I think you're not that far from there.
Wow.
Hey, what's up, Ryan? Hi, Sam,
So,
Lori,
Ryan.
and Rashawn.
I
Got
mean,
people coming in.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna say I don't like fishing for bass because
They're just
I
as special
like.
as a snakehead. They look
But
better than a snakehead.
who? What? What are you talking
Largemouth looks
about?
better than snakehead.
Oh man, smallmouth look better than snakehead. I would fish smallmouth
Yeah.
any day over largemouth. You know what I mean? Like small. That's my thing. Smallmouth. So
That young lady that's coming on, she's got some nice hammer smallmouth, man. She's caught some. She's I don't. She's in the tournament trail. We'll talk. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna talk to her at 7:30. She's coming on at 7:30, and I'm kind of excited. Just kind of talk, talk bass fishing. It's been a while, you know. It's kind of been chopped now. There's been so much going on with the forward facing sonar in there. I mean,
bro,
what do you think about? What do you think
I
about the forward facing sonar?
I have it. I have it. So I mean, I got everything on my. I have everything on my Titan. I have the new. That's my team boat for DPS. Shout out to DPS sponsoring tournament.
Yeah, nice
If
guys.
anybody know Delaware Paddle Sports, if you need a kayak, make sure you go there. I have that now.
Do I
want to? I haven't used it because I was going to get back into bass fishing.
You can use it for snakehead. They do it shallow too, man. It's
yeah,
too much. That's
but if they're shallow, they're going to be in the trees. Me, I honestly, I've caught a lot of bass just using my fish finder or drop shot. I don't know about you. Do you power shot at all? I want to know if George, you still on here. Let me know. Do you power shot at all and what you think of it? Because I do a lot of power shotting, and they catch a lot of fish. Doesn't matter what it is.
I got another young lady that's another bass fisherman. She's she's starting to answer me now. That's cool. The so the it's been such a big deal. It's been such a big deal in the bass fishing world. It's been some of the I have never seen such crap. Like they were saying, there were some guys that were fishing docks and actually using it to fish docks. You know what I mean? Using that forward face sonar to fish docks. And I'm telling you, man, I think if you're a professional, I think that needs not whatsoever be as a professional.
I mean, but you got to, I know back in the day, everybody was they weren't using that. They just using instinct and what they would think the fish was at. The same thing. I mean, you can't pick up snakehead on some, man, snakehead and bass fishing are the same thing, except snakehead can go farther back. But I mean, sooner or later, man, I don't even know how to explain it. Technology is changing.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude. I'm actually, I just texted somebody. I'm sorry. That's pretty rude of me. Look, I've said this before. We go to one of the hardest things to do in baseball is to hit a baseball with the bat. What do they do? You can't have an aluminum bat. Nobody can use an aluminum bat. You're in drag racing, right? You're in that with NASCAR. NASCAR, everybody has to have the same thing on their car, and some guys can just make it just run fast, go faster. But a lot of times it has to do with the driver. Sometimes being the driver, learning the skill, and the same thing with bass. Bass to me, you spent all this time to learn patterns, to learn all this, to learn about fishing, and I've heard it from Josh Jones. He said, he didn't even at the crappie tournament. Didn't pre-fish, didn't do anything. We're not there, and all he did was scan for fish. And if you can go out there and hit some spots, and all you can, and if the point is that if you throw at a fish and it moves, you can follow the damn fish everywhere. It's I don't know.
Hey, so I'm gonna tell you, I'm a reason why these guys are doing that, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna hold this up for you. Money, they're trying to win. You know what I mean? That's
I get it. If it's legal, it's legal. I mean,
it's legal. So I mean, everybody, if they can do it legal and they're trying to win money because they got stuff, I don't know if people have issues going on or they got to win money, whatever, or do stuff. They're gonna do what it takes. So, but
yeah, but so I just think that when you become a professional, I just think there should be limitations, and I got a feeling that eventually it's going to be, but I believe it. I believe it should be. I believe it should be absolutely restricted. I mean, I don't think you even should have it in the opens, because what I want to see, you know what I want to see? They keep telling me, I keep hearing that, oh, they can do it. They can fish just as good without it. And I love to see it. I want to see these guys, these young kids that are coming out and going against somebody that's got 25 years of 15, 20 years of experience fishing for bass. You know, anybody can fish, but I want to see them on a consistent in a series. You know, I think Josh Joe said, hey, won't you do 4 tournaments with it, 4 tournaments without? You know, I just want to see the guys prove that they can do it without that technology. The one guy had close to $30,000 worth of freaking electronics on his car, on his boat. 30 grand. That's not and they not are using the goggles, man. You can Bluetooth to the goggles. So they're actually fishing now with the freaking goggles on their head.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I like my stuff for saltwater. Yeah, honestly, to be honest, I don't. As a matter of fact, when I use my fish finder, I'm just scanning to see if there's fish here and there or what structure's there. When you get close, if you're snakehead fishing, you get close to the reeds or grass, you're not going to pick them up in there, especially in shallow.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
you know what I mean. So,
yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. I think it'd be fun, but I don't know. I mean, can I do that on my couch? Oh, I can't catch a real fish, I guess. Won't be able to catch a real fish. But look, we can go to the boat show. I know that Fish Hunt Maryland had the TV where you can actually put the rod inside of the thing and actually pull back on you. You can do that too. That's kind of the same thing. They're gonna sit there in the passenger seat and let a robot fish for them sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, got electronic reel for deep drops. So,
well, we're gonna talk very, very, very. I think that when I talk to Cindy, we're gonna ask her opinion on it. On big water and salt, I think Ford. You know, sometimes I don't mind if guides use it, but the problem is that when you're using a forward face, they're so good at it that they can literally tell the size of the bass. If it's a bass, they can pretty much tell you what kind of fish it is. And Josh said that if he don't think it's over 10 pounds, he's not even fishing for it. So that's all they're hunting for is a big fish. And I don't know. I think that there should be a limit. And I think with all the crying right now, I do think women bass fishing, Bass Masters is probably doing one of the smartest things that I've seen. I think they're really, really starting to push women because the guys sound more like, sorry, Cindy, more like women, crying and bitching, and everybody's cheating. I mean, Jesus, Mary and Joe. I mean, people are cheating, people are bitching, people are crying, and this guy's doing this guy for technology's too much, and it's so I think both of them. When that split happened, when they split up, the Bassmaster Classic is nothing like it used to be. So, so this is my little rant, because I just think that it's
so that's one of the reasons why I stopped bass fishing tournaments, because I was fishing a lot, especially in California. I just stopped doing it. Actually, matter of fact, that was one of the main reasons why I stopped fishing, because people were complaining all the time, and I just I had stopped, man. I just stopped fishing for years. Been fishing my entire life, and then I just stopped. I almost felt like doing it. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like almost doing it again sometimes, because people complain all the time. You try to do something for the community. You got Campbell Trout putting stuff out. You got Eddie doing stuff. You got Scott Steers doing stuff. Like, he's doing stuff for the community, and then nobody's ever happy with anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, dang, it's like, you're like, what are you doing? What am I doing this for? And so I have to look past it, and it's like, I gotta stay focused.
Yeah, man.
It makes, you know what I mean? So
you're fishing. I got a little club that I haven't fished with them yet. I know they got a tournament tomorrow, and unfortunately, I think I'm going to be busy. But they have a tournament. It's a local club, and the only rule, they got some rules, but you can fish one if you want. You can fish them all if you want. And there's just they're bitching. When I was with a club out of Harford County, I got sick of them bitching at the end of the tournament because the guy wasn't using this. So they would complain about it and argue about it. That kind of took me out of tournament fishing. But now the tournaments I've been fishing lately has been pretty much laid back. So
check this out. And Tommy makes a good point. A lot of people can't get out and fishing. Can you go back to that one that one
Which one?
comment, Tommy text comment? Yeah, right. So he works a lot. Right? Like he doesn't get to fish. He's got a lot of stuff going on, and his son's really good wrestler, so he's traveling a lot.
Right.
And I see where he's coming from because he needs everything to get. He don't have time to, if he has to be, he wants to get out in the morning, fish, find the fish, and then have to be home and be where he got to be. So I understand he forward phase sonar on everything for that. So that, I mean, every advantage for people that's just fishing, you know what I mean? It's good. And then we got Tommy. Yeah, I'm with you, Tommy. That's why I stopped filming because
That's what I'm going to,
yeah.
Lucky and Cindy, she's got her YouTube channel too, and I got to ask her. It's hard when you're fishing and you really start getting into you're really in there, kind of deep into fishing. Sometimes it's like, oh, you forget about filming, you forget about doing all the all the YouTube stuff. And sometimes it's fun. Not that it's fun sometimes when we go crabbing or we're out doing stuff and not bringing all the cameras and
So
everything.
my fun for me with filming is if we're fishing against each other and we're talking junk to each other. That's
Right.
fun to me. And somebody's catching the fish and stuff like that. Or against, but other than that, I mean,
There's Scott.
I'm yeah, I don't know.
Spot burning. I know we're spot burning know-it-alls. Us YouTubers, we know everything. We know everything, and we're spot burners. We do it all the time. Good grief!
So
I heard that. Oh my god!
I
I
mean,
I
honestly,
took down a
no,
video. I took the video. I took a video down once because a guy around. I put it this way: the guy around here bitched at me because I was only fishing from the bank, and he bitched that I put it up. So I took it down out of respect. And then a month later, he goes, "Hey, look what I caught on the Chop Tank River," and showed a snakehead. I'm going, "You knucklehead!"
bro.
You know,
Like so
because then the
so
kayak army comes.
here is the thing about, and I had this conversation with a couple guys. One of the guys that work at Talkerman's. Um, no spots are anybody's spots
No,
unless you own the land, right?
right,
Now I understand there's an etiquette to something. So if I take you somewhere and I show you a spot, nobody would say, "Oh, I'm gonna bring back 25 other people." That's just fit. That's just etiquette. But it can't control you. You know what I mean? But
I've done that once. My buddy,
and
I've done that once. I've done that one. I've done that one time. But I didn't take a lot of people. I just took one person. But it really isn't anybody's spot. I've seen other people, other people fish there, so it was like it's out of the way anywhere. I've done that one time, and yeah, he kind of gave me a little shit about that.
yeah, so I mean, I fish somewhere. I could go fish somewhere. I like, for example, we say, okay, we'll say Stan. I'll give you an example, Stansbury. So we fish Stansbury. Everybody fishes there. It's like, oh, don't tell nobody it's my spot. You know, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I get it. I understand that people don't want people there because if you tell somebody else, they tell somebody else, and then it ends up being trashed.
Right.
And that's what you've seen that on the Eastern Shore because
Oh yeah, it got trashed down there.
they got trashed real quick. Once the snake has really took off, everybody and mama down there had beer cans on the side of the road. And you remember when they had that big ordeal, we were bringing trash bags
Yeah.
down. So
Yeah, I've done that a couple times, bringing some trash bags down there to kind of clean
yeah.
up, and the trash can be overflowing and stuff. All right, so let everybody know next week. Give them the time, date, let everybody get ready for the Northern Snakehead Elite Series. Hey, you can win. You can win yourself a kayak from Delaware Paddle Sports if you win. Now you got to fish at least two events. At least two events. All right, so you got two. You got to fish. You got to fish this Sunday and the next tournament, even to be qualified for the free kayak to win. So you got to get your butts going on.
Yeah, so it's on Fishing Chaos. If you need if you're not part of the Legion of Anglers group, make sure you answer the questions, join the group. We post a lot of information there. Send myself, Tommy Tech Outdoors, and as a matter of fact, there it is right there. He popped it up for you
Put
all.
it up. He just put it up.
Yeah, so it is on the 19th. Check-in starts at 4:30. It's kayak only.
AM.
No live bait. Yeah, 4:30 a.m. Mariner Point. You should see us sitting out there and a bunch of people in a line waiting at a table to get their boards checked.
And he'll have scrapple and egg and cheese sandwiches ready for everybody.
Yeah, right. You better stop. Now there'll be some stuff. We have water. We provide you with water. There'll be some snacks provided as well.
Cool.
If from some of the team. And I'm trying to think. But hopefully, I have boards there. So if you're not fishing the tournament and you got a board, you can come get it.
Okay.
If you're in the area.
Awesome.
Tommy, I know you're watching. Let me know if I forget anything. I don't know.
Hey, just put it in. Just put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat, and if you anything you need, I pin. No, I didn't pin. That was Cindy's stuff. But put anything in the chat. You can share it. If you can't share it, let me know, and that way I can make you a moderator, and you go ahead and put it in the chat. Anything you need to know, and you can contact Rashawn, Stephen Campbellers, Tommy Tech. You can just go on Facebook and go to Legion of Anglers and join or whatever, and you can ask any questions that you need to ask, and I'm sure they'll give it to you in a matter of time. But
and if you
better sign up.
Yeah, it's doing good. I mean, 46. I would like to beat the last one. But if you have any questions, like I said, the rules are there. Please read the rules and go over them, or just send us some questions. And yeah.
Okay. All right, young man. Thank you I appreciate you coming on. I really do. You know, and then like I said, we'll do it again right before the week before the next tournament.
Yeah, that's the Upper Bay. Yeah, I'm down.
All right, young man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See y'all.
All right, so I am going to bring on Cindy. I made her just about a 30-minute, about a little minute video. This young lady. So I've really been wanting to get into talking bass fishing, and I really wanted to promote and push women. And I've seen a lot of, I've seen Cindy and a couple other people doing, being, she's a pro fisherman. So we want to ask her a lot of questions, and I'm excited to talk to her. And this was like a last minute. I talked to her earlier today and asked her if she wanted to come on, and she said yes. So we figured it all out, and she'll be here. Let me do this real quick and show you this video.
I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't be scared. Step it up, don't be
scared. There we go. Let me add everybody here to the stage. And there she is.
Hey, how are you?
What's going on? How are you?
Cool video. That's
Thanks.
awesome.
I was just messing around. I was editing another video from a channel, and I was like, God, I forgot to advertise for the live tonight. So I had to get that together. And then I was texting you at the same time to see if you would be interested in coming on and hanging out and really I'm sorry for anybody that's in here that loves snakeheads, but I'm a bass fisherman, and thank God she's going to save me today because we're going to talk about bass fishing. And I haven't done it in a while, and I've been really just, let me give you a last quote. My wife said, "Oh my God, he's eating again." We were watching your video, and your husband was sitting there. He started with a club about this big, and the whole thing.
Yeah,
but,
we were supposed to split that, but he ate most of it, so it's fine.
So Cindy's a professional bass fisherman, and you're doing a you have a tour. Is it in a certain area? Is it, and it's considered, let's start from the beginning. Introduce yourself and tell everybody before I start jabbing. So introduce yourself and kind of tell everybody how you got into, fishing and stuff like that real quick before we really get into the other stuff.
All right. Cindy Adler Jackson. I fished with the circuit I fish is the Lady Bass Anglers Association. And I also fish with the Bass and Gals out of my area. So I'm from Arkansas. And so the Lady Bass Anglers Association is kind of it can go all over. I've been to Alabama and Texas, and they go to South Carolina and Georgia, kind of the southern states, I guess. But there's also federations. There's one in up north. I know the Two Chicks in a Boat. They started one up north for those people, and they can qualify for the classic for the LBAA. And there's a couple federations down in Louisiana and Texas. So the LBA is just kind of the pro women's bass circuit right now, and we're hoping to grow it to be as big as it used to be back a few years ago, from what I heard. I got started just fishing my home lake here in Bull Shoals, Arkansas, or Bull Shoals Lake in Arkansas. And yeah, I've just kind of grown with it. Went as a co-angler since 2016, and then I've finally gotten the courage. Well, I finally got a boat in order to go as a pro.
So how was it switching over to so have you been on a lake yet with your boat that you've never been on?
No, I haven't actually.
Because that's the scary part. Being on a lake that you don't know, and
I know.
you don't know, and
Yeah.
that can be almost more stressful than actually trying to find
True.
the fish.
Well, yeah, and I've been on luckily the first two draws that I've fished have been on lakes I've been like familiar with. Bull Shoals has been on my home lake, and then I just finished the tour stop number 3 on Table Rock, and I'm familiar-ish with Table Rock. So it hasn't been super scary. I got a lot of help of where I'm going to fish, and I've had local waters to fish. But I'll fish the classic Grand Lake in Oklahoma, and I'll be fishing that one for the first time. It's not doing, but these ladies that I fish with, they do it all the time, and
Right.
it's awesome to watch them, and they're all an inspiration to me.
Well, who actually got who got you in the fishing actually to really enjoy fishing?
So my story starts like I used to be a youth director or youth pastor at a church right out of college. And there was a gentleman that was our maintenance man at the church, and his wife had to work on Friday, so he'd take me fishing. And then people got wind of how much I loved it. And so I have a friend that I consider one of my best friends, Mark Billings, and he was a big tournament fisherman, and he's very well known around the area. He had the option to go pro, and he's won a lot of big stuff. And so he's kind of the one that's taken me under his wing and got me into these tournament fishing. And he's taught me a lot, and basically everything I know about the tournament fishing. And he's my go-to, my confidence. That you got to have that one person that you can call and say, hey, what do I need to change? Calm me down. And so he's that person for me. And so he's taught me a lot. And so I would say that it's just these older gentlemen. Like I even go out on my home lake with them, and we just follow each other in our boats and just see what's happening on the lake, and see how the fish are biting, and what we need to use and things like that. It helps us cover water, but it also lets us have that little time together. So that's kind of who I've leaned to, is they're lucky. They're already retired. I'm almost there, but not quite. But so
so you started, because I did the same thing. I started as a co-angler.
Yep.
I was just kind of want to get into it, and I didn't really have a boat for it. I had a 16-foot, but it wasn't really set up for, you need to lie well and all that stuff. So
right.
So I know you learn a lot. I know there's been a lot of people complaining about co-anglers now. I'm hearing about it. But for me, when you get to go out and you get to fish, sometimes you don't fish with the greatest guy. But sometimes when you get to go out with somebody that kind of knows what you're doing and it really helps you, even though he's trying to fish, but helps you. I mean, how was it as a co-angler learning before you actually, how do I do that? I wanted to say, if being a co-angler, how did I want to phrase that? I phrased that completely wrong. My wife's over here. She's
Yeah.
So getting you in the fishing to go into tournaments. So you didn't have a boat, so you went as a co-angler. And then did you become a professional that way? Did you learn a lot being a co-angler? from a lot of the guys.
Oh yeah. I think being a co-angler really, I mean, you're at the mercy of your boater. You have to figure out, okay, they're throwing this, but like that's not going to work for me, because sometimes you have to throw things in the front of the boat because you're in the front of the boat and you have better options. And
Right.
so to me, as a co-angler, you become a better fisherman. And I think it's the best way to start as fishing, because you don't have to make those decisions of
Mhm.
where to go and what you just have to focus on. Okay, I need to figure out what I can catch behind this pro, because they're pros. They know what the fish are biting. They've practiced all week, and it's going to be hard to fish behind them. So if you can figure out how to catch them in the back of the boat,
Yeah.
like that's where you start. In my opinion, I was able to adjust and figure out that, and then I had one of my pros and a lot of them that I fish with. They would say, you need to be a boater, like, you need to be in the front of the boat, because you know these decisions that need to be made, and you're just ready. And so after I got my boat and got uh, familiar with everything and confidence, then I've had a good year as a first time boater with a Lady Bass Anglers. I can hold on really strong on those day ones, but the day twos, I still got to work out some kinks,
What?
because I fall behind on those days. But I can't complain with anything, because I'm doing it, and that's the biggest thing, is just doing it.
So have you when it comes to your sponsors and stuff like that, because I'm going to be really honest with you. I think you've heard a little bit of me talking about how I think that with all the complaining that's going on the men's side of bass fishing, all the drama, everything that's going on, I think that people are sick of hearing it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, because when the split happened, I think to me the Bassmaster Classic doesn't have, for me watching it, that was almost like a Super Bowl for us, when you're bass fishing, watching the
Yeah.
Bassmaster Classic, and when all your favorite ones left, and they, and the first classic after the split, you're like, you didn't really know anybody. You didn't know anybody except for maybe one or two, and you're like, it wasn't fun to watch, and it wasn't. But I won't lie, saying when MLF, I liked the format they had at the beginning. It was fun to watch the pros break down a lake. When you go to a lake you've never been on, and you listen to them, the way they broke it down, what were they looking for? Why did they start here? Why are they doing this? I like that. And then he changed everything. But now it's really kind of a shit show. Sorry about that, but it's really a mess. So I'm thinking Bassmaster's really pushing women. I think right now, it's a good time for women to really start growing the sport, because I don't think, at least I haven't heard anything, them complaining as much as the guys are doing.
Yeah.
It's all about growing. It's all about bringing women in.
It is. I think that, don't they even have the Bassmaster now? Like, they're trying to promote that. Like, I haven't super looked into it, but I've been told to check out and sign up for the Bassmaster. So
Right.
I plan to do that when I get the time. But I do love the ladies that I fish with, because we're kind of old fashioned. We do have the live scopes, but we still go out and we have to adjust each day, and we have to learn how to adjust. And that's what I get to learn from the other anglers, of how they're doing, and what they had to do and adjust to that day, so that they caught their fish. And so I don't think that I know that this summer that's what I'm going to be working on, is the live scope, because it is, if you
It
want to
is
get
what
it
it is.
big, you have to know it like the back of your hand. I don't necessarily care for it, but it's what you got to do to win. And so that's I know that, yeah, it's just the new thing, unless they make certain rules or something like that. The
I hope
live
so.
scope,
I hope
the
so.
future. Yeah. So, but I'm a shallow fisherman anyway. So it doesn't
Crankbait
affect.
woman. Man, I was watching your videos. You love that crankbait. I'm telling you. That's
Yeah.
I'm silly with it, because because when I moved, I was explaining that where I lived, it was tidal water. I didn't realize about the tide. Do you fish mostly lake? Do you fish any tidal stuff?
No.
No tidal. Well, here I fish tidal most of the time, but I never really even thought about it um, until I moved down to the eastern shore of Maryland, and the rivers are rivers. I mean, they move. You put your bait here, and it's here. Like it just starts.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, ours isn't that bad.
yeah, learning
Yeah.
to fish that, I end up getting so frustrated that I started being more of a power fisherman. I love throwing my crankbait right in the center of logs, wood. That is that's one of my favorite things to do. How about you?
Yeah, I focus on rocky banks with it, but always whenever there's cover, if you hit that log, you got to pause that thing and then just let it go. And they usually hit it right after that pause, after you hit the log that you're throwing at, is from my experience with it. But I do think that if you're having a bad day or something, throw a crankbait and you'll pull out something if you throw it long enough. So
I love the crankbait. I've been doing a 1.5 KVD for forever. Chartreuse perch. That's my favorite color. Never been skunked on it. Never. I might only caught one fish all day long, but I've never been skunked on it.
good.
But I fished a little bit of tournaments. I kind of get a little bit. I'm getting a little bit older to where them 8-hour tournaments are kind of kicking my butt a little bit. So how is it with you? Because I mean, you pretty much have a full family. You got a really silly husband.
Yeah.
Your
Yes,
husband's a
I
little
do.
silly. Watching the videos, but you got a nice
Yeah.
young daughter and a son. So how's that doing the tournaments and having a family and everything at home?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a factor in my single life. Like it was a lot easier to just be gone, and now I don't like to be gone because I want to be home with my family. But it helps 100% that I have a supportive husband. He's always encouraged me and wants me to go. And as our daughter gets older and my son gets older, like it's a lot easier for me
Mhm.
to be gone and then be okay. But and any chance I get, we just take him. That's my goal, is to have my kids grow up and they're around the fishing industry, hoping that one of them will take it on and want to do it more. Because I started later in life, and I'm like, how the earlier you start a sport, the
Right,
better you are. And I think it's the same with fishing. I fish with this girl, Carly Joe. She day 2 this past week, and she's only in 8th grade.
right,
And she's got it going on. And so to start that early, I think she has a bright future if she keeps with it, because she's a good angler and she has the support of her family. And then this organization that I fish with, the LBA, we totally support those younger people. And you have the ability to start, as a co-angler and to learn from all these different pros that have been doing it for 10 years. And that's kind of what I did,
what
like
age?
these ladies that I fish with. So I think I'm just excited that my family is able to be a part of it and so supportive. I definitely couldn't do it without the support. But it's just another factor. But I still go out there, and I love to finish the tournaments with my husband, because he is funny and a goofball, and he tries really hard. Uh, but he and I tell him, like, he knows he's not the best fisherman, but um, but it means the world to me that he's out there with me, because that's just couples time that we get to do together.
Oh yeah,
And so that's you. I know with you and your wife, you're probably the same way with what you
we're in,
guys do, and
we're
it
in
just
Maryland, so we do a lot. My wife is how you are about fishing. She is here about blue crabbing in Maryland. So
yeah, I
we
saw.
get to go out and catch our own blue crabs. And she's a maniac. She loves. I can ask her. I can ask her to go crabbing. We're going to go crabbing in the morning. We got to be leaving by 4 a.m. She will be up at 2:30, bath, ready. Lunches are made, drinks are packed, everything's ready to go, but the boat being hooked up. But if I said, come on, look, we're going to get up about 6 o'clock, we're going to go out and do some fishing. Nah, it's okay. You go ahead. You
You
go
go.
ahead.
Well, as long as you have that one thing, that's
No,
what
it's
me.
fun.
Yeah.
We
So
we have a well, we've been I put here you go. You'll meet. I love embarrassing me and my wife because my wife loves it. So here, me and my wife met. Our anniversary was last Friday,
Oh,
and we met in 1987. And this is what we looked like.
oh, look at that hair, both of y'all.
Oh, that's nothing. Wait till you see the next picture. We grew up. As you can see, my Pantera shirt. I'm an old school metalhead. We are. Wait till let me show you what when you fall in love, what a man will do when you fall in love.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, that'll make anybody go, oh my God, what were you thinking? It's called love. It's love. That's what it is.
It is love. It's great. Yes.
I show that every live stream. I got it up here all the time. She
Good.
goes, you always do that. That's great.
Good.
The
Yeah.
but I've been watching your videos, and the one video, man, you had a nice bass on you. The crankbait, it can really, and I'm like, I didn't realize when I started watching the beginning of it, I'm like, man, maybe they can't in Bassmasters, maybe they can't use a net. They can't use a net, and then you miss it because you're trying to bow flip it. And I'm like, damn it. And then you put the net, and I'm screaming at the screen like, why didn't you use the net on the first one? Because you lost that one. you lost a pretty nice bass on there. That was a nice one. So going through that, your first tournament, was it was it nerve-wracking, or were you comfortable in the lake? You did pretty. How did you fare in that first tournament by yourself on your boat your first time?
Yeah, I ended up the day one. Like I said, I was leading it day one, just barely, but I was leading it. And then day two, I fell to fourth place. So that for a tournament, like I put so much pressure on myself. That's what I learned from that tournament is stop. Just go fishing. Like you're so much better whenever I'm not under pressure. And so I just that's what my fault was putting too much pressure on myself and not just doing what I love. And so with everything, you can get in your head, and I definitely was in my head. And so Table Rock was a lot more smoother. I didn't finish very great. I did the first day, but the second day I didn't this past week that I fished that. But I handled it okay. Like, I got to give myself grace because this is my first year and I'm acting like I should be the best of the best. And
That's good
sometimes it's
attitude.
either, but I'm not doing bad. Like I'm catching fish. I just can't. I think we beat ourselves up more than what's going on. Like we're our hardest critic, and so I've really tried to just chill out. Honestly,
It's hard when you're fishing a tournament like that and it's your first one. Even
mhm.
any tournament, a lot of guys they freaking they I get the same way. I get all relaxed. You kind of know what you're going to do, and when what you think's going to work isn't working, then when you start reaching around and start changing a lot of stuff all day long. That's when
Yeah.
you need to calm down. Like, okay, there's a better way to do this. We can calm down, and so how do you feel about that? So a lot of times I watch another fisherman, and it's another woman fisherman. She's more in a kayak, but she is switching over to a boat, and she have and I wouldn't want to bring her name up yet, but do you know Christine Fisher?
Yeah, I've seen her stuff. I
Okay,
know,
so
like I
she's
know who she
switching
is.
over. You
Yeah,
can
she
watch
has.
her. You can watch her when she's out there and she's on a tournament last year. I watched her all of her last year because I was interested in the tournament stuff. And you can see she's stressed out and she was losing a lot of fish. I've never seen somebody lose a lot of fish that year. And but then whenever she was actually just fishing for fun, you can see it's like you're a completely different person. You think you
Yeah.
can get like that? You think that you can? You think you can? It's going to be tough to do that. You think?
No, yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. It's like you've just got to chill out. And like when people like the Cheryl Bowden do you see those people? Like she's been a big mentor for me of like like the of just fishing. I definitely, I think on bull shows, like I was so stressed that I was in tears. Like that's the thing. That's how intense I was of wanting it so bad. And
Mhm.
then in bull shows, like I got to, or on Table Rock, I stayed with some other ladies, and it was really a great thing for me because we talked and we visited, and they struggled, and then they told me what they were doing, and so this whole community of ladies that comes together and they want the best for everybody, um, is really helpful and easing, because I'm like, okay, I don't, like, you just work, go out there and do what you love and fish hard, and if it's your day, you're going to catch the big ones, and
Mhm.
if it's not your day, at least you're on the lake. So day one of Table Rock, I was on third place. I caught them how I love to catch them, and then day two it just didn't work out for me. I caught the small fish, but that happens, and I didn't fret on it. I was disappointed, but I was just like, okay, let's just go on and fish the next one. And so I'm really trying not to get in my head, because it is a big thing. Like, you putting pressure on yourself just makes
Mhm.
it not fun.
Right.
And so you really have to just relax and fish.
As Big
So
Actor says, maybe you're overthinking. That's what we always do.
yeah.
You go
Oh,
in, you pre-fish, and you got this big plan, how you plan on fishing everything, and then the weather changes or
yeah.
something goes wrong, it gets windy.
So yeah.
How was that day, driving in all that wind on your boat the first time?
It held up great. I see you have express boats, and I have Vexus boats, and it's an aluminum boat as well. But it handled fantastic. I can't complain at all of how it went, but it's just another factor when you throw in wind and you
Mhm.
throw in, everything. It can change just like that. Like the bass can change so fast. You can be catching them, and then all of a sudden nothing. And that was a big thing for the ladies. Even Leslie Anderson, she was in first place too, and she was with me. She caught one fish. How does that happen? We both had two good bags, and we only catch one fish day two. But that's part of it, like learning to adjust. And okay, like I was catching fish, I caught fish, and my day two on Table Rock will come out later this week or next week. But I had enough fish to have a bag, but I didn't have the right fish.
Right.
And you just never know when it's going to be the right fish. You just got to keep trying. So that's bass fishing, though. It's you love hate relationship, and you got to more love it than hate it, and that's how I do. So
Fred Adler, that must be your husband.
no, that's my dad.
Oh, your dad. Do you do
Yeah,
you do you, do you depend on your live scope? Are you think you're going to depend on that?
I'm gonna try. Just I think I know a few of my Terry Cedric. She was talking about how she could look at a tree and see how much it was there, and I know a lot of Cheryl Bowden uses it as well. I need to learn it. That's my thing. Is this
Yeah.
summer I want to at least learn it to have it be in. But right now I don't depend on it. I'm I did this spring when I was trying to find balls of shad.
Mhm.
But whenever I'm fishing shallow like I normally do, I don't use it like I should. But I need to, because the bigger fish are, you can find the bigger fish on the live scope.
Yeah, I mean
So
that's the way they're. See, that's kind of what really drives me crazy because the way they were explaining it, there was things that they were saying the professionals that they were learning, you never thought about. If you're in, sometimes you might be in 30 foot of water, and the fish would literally be like 10 foot in the middle or 15 foot, just
mhm.
hovering out of nowhere. Not on brush pile, not on anything down underneath. They're just sitting in the middle for no reason, and
Yeah.
that's to me that's the advantage of a bass that I think that they're losing. I think this live scope stuff is taking away. There should be some kind of advantage for the fish. There's been fish that are caught that probably has never been caught before because of this technology,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and that's where I think that it should be if you're a professional, I think that it should be stopped. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion. Because I'm old
You-
school. Everybody
Yeah.
says I'm against technology, and look at me. Right now, we're on TV. We have all this equipment
Yeah.
here, but we can do this. We can go all over the world talking fishing right now for
Correct.
for anything. So I'm not against technology, but sometimes I believe there needs to be. I said NASCAR. NASCAR, you're only allowed. Everybody's pretty much allowed the same thing. You can't do any more, any less. You either got a guy can make his motor run faster than the rest of them with the same stuff, or basically you got to keep. It's got to be the driver. The driver is the one that a lot of times win is because of the driver. So that's what I mean about bass fishing.
Yeah, they just forget about, okay, let's look at this transition in this bank. It goes from rocky, like trunk rock, to pebble. Like there should be a fish in that transition. People aren't learning that anymore. They're focusing on, like, they're looking down. And that's what I love Major League Fishing too. I used to watch it all the time. But whenever all they're doing is looking down, like there's no fun in that. Like why would I want to watch them watch the TV? Like
Yeah.
it just the learning factor is just it is what's winning tournaments for sure, because if you have that dialed in, you are gonna get good fish.
Yeah.
But it's just you're missing all the fun stuff of learning lakes and learning Google mapping of, okay, where did the lake line used to be, okay, they fish could be here. And
Right.
I don't know,
It's
it just
I don't know. The guy had. I was telling Rashawn that the guy had over $20,000 worth of electronics on his boat. He had 10. The one guy has 10 transducers on his boat. 10. So he can't use them all at the same. He can't use them all at the same time. But what he can do is switch from one to the other. So if he sees there's a fish over here, he can pretty much almost follow it. It's I don't know. I think it's crazy. I mean, if you're putting that much money into electronics, then it's not. I don't know. There's a guy. I watch him a lot, and it's intuitive. Well, actually, I just watched it. I just watched the live stream today. Mike Iaconelli had Kevin Van Dam on it today, and I was listening to that. And even Kevin was saying, "Hey, there should be a little bit of. I think there should be a limit. I think there's enough being bitched about that I think eventually there's something's going to happen. Something's going to happen."
Yeah.
So where is your next tournament at?
Well, I'm fishing this Friday with the World Bass Tour. It's on Table Rock as well. So I'm fishing with my friend Vanetta. It's a team tournament. And so that the World Bass Tour is kind of like the best I can say it is like it's a poker draw. Like you get a chance to make the championship day, which is you're guaranteed money if you make that day. But you get like a certain amount of day, like you get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to try to qualify. And so you just pay the entry fee each day and you try to win it. And the winners get to go to the championship day. So yeah, I'll be fishing Friday and I'll fish hopefully Saturday. If we can get that going. So that I'm fishing. And then the Lady Bass Anglers go to Gunnersville. So anybody close to Gunnersville, come on, sign up and fish with us because we're trying to grow it. So,
yeah, I mean, I really want to talk to a bunch of the women fishing. It's just that you guys right now have a better chance of growing the sport. Not only bringing even young men in, but I think a lot of young women. And it's a sport that and anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And especially what I like about having a co-angler professional. I mean, having tournaments that have a co-angler, I think is a really, really good way. But I hear a lot of guys are bitching. And the guys are really bitching about having professional guys having to worry about a co-angler behind them. You know, I mean, most of the time they're good, but I know I heard, like I said, I told you before, I've heard some really nightmares of some co-anglers on the boat.
Yeah, I mean, it just adds another factor to being a pro. You have to worry about the angle of your boat. You have to worry about having another person in your boat, netting their fish if that's the case. But it helps the sport grow. So I don't know why they're complaining, because you want more people to be able to have the chance to fish it. And so I won't complain at all having a co-angler, because I love that the sport's growing, and I hope it continues to grow for us ladies.
I'm telling you, you start winning and you start pushing. I'm telling you, before you know it, I think the sponsors are going to really start hitting the women,
Hmm.
really start pushing the women. A lot of the sponsors, I think that's where I think the sponsors might look at that as um, more of a growth, more growth in it than the
Hmm.
male side of it. You know what I mean
Yeah,
by that?
yeah,
I
yeah,
think there's a lot more growth in, because when I was watching, there was a woman's bass, the Bass Masters. There was
yeah,
Bass had a tournament a long time ago, but it was never really pushed a lot. But with
yeah,
social media, YouTube, and her YouTube channel is pinned to the top of the chat. So if you want to
yeah,
go check her YouTube channel out, it's pinned. Go click on it. Make sure you subscribe to her. She's really fun. Her husband is definitely one corny dude, but he's
yeah.
fun. I mean, they get along.
Watch all those.
They look like they have fun together.
Yeah. Yeah, we've kind of gotten the reputation of, like, a lot of wives walk up to him and say, "You fish just like me," and so he gets tickled at that. But he has fun and he does it. So and the co-angler doesn't need any experience at all.
Right.
Just you gotta at least have a couple rods, because that's all you need is rods and baits, and just come out, if it's, especially if it's your home lake or if it's close to you, like, you won't be out too much money, then just come join. And this is a great way to start, because this is where I started with the LBA, as they came to my home lake, and I was like, my buddy was like, Punk, you need to do this. And so in 2016, I decided to go as a co-angler and on my home lake, and I ended up winning it. And
Oh, really?
that once you do that, you kind of get hooked. And so I fished it until as much as I could, and then now I fish it as on the pro side. So
I
I
had so
can't
many
complain.
questions. I had so many questions.
Oh no.
So many questions that I want to, because I'm doing this all day. I didn't write anything down. I'm like, all right, I'm watching you fish. I'm trying to think, okay, I'm trying to think, what are we gonna ask talk? But I just think that it's just fun to talk about bass fishing. A couple guys are in here, like this guy right here. So this guy here, his name's Colin. Um, what's it? Why have it separate women tour? Why not combine men and women? Well, you can. You can go.
Yeah.
A woman can go and fish in order to be on the elite series. You got to fish the opens, and it doesn't matter who you are. You go in. If you want to fish, you just got to win. And if you can win, you can make the elite series. And I'm telling you, and you got to be good at right now. You got to be good at forward facing sonar. But um, for me, being a co-angler, I think that's a really, really great experience for
Yeah.
somebody that's young.
Yeah, I agree. And I fished the Toyota Costa series back whenever I fished it for a couple years as a co-angler. And it's just a different ball game. To women in fishing isn't huge, because a lot of times, like, women have, the factor of having a family.
Hmm.
I'm lucky. I have such a supportive family and husband that's willing to support this hobby. But a lot of times when you become in the parent role or have kids, like, let's be real, it's the moms that take most of the uh, time out for the kids, and the dads are the ones that get to do their hobbies. But so it's just being able to find that balance of and being able, like, I know the LBA, like, it's kind of just one of those where it's like motivating for women to fish, because, okay, you're just competing against women. um and I mean, I think I can hang with the dudes in this sport. I didn't do
Yeah,
horrible with it and if you've heard of Pam Martin Wells, go look her up. She made it to the Bassmaster
is that her
Open.
right there?
Like, so there are women that can do it. It's just, there's a neat article in one of those that talks about what's the difference between men and women. Well, women really do, when they have a family, they put stuff on hold because the family, like,
Hmm.
they focus on that. So it's harder for women to, to make it big at, like a man, because they don't have they're competitive, but men have that like, okay, I have to be the best of the best, and but women are like, good job, like you're awesome, like, and that's what we need, like we're just nurturers, and like it's just a difference between male and female, like that's just how it is. And I think that if we can get this to grow with just having a ladies circuit, then why not have a? I mean, there's men's soccer, there's women's soccer, there's men's. So
Mhm.
fishing, I mean, it can be the same thing, and but luckily, like women can do both if they can and want to try. So it's just I push the LBA just because it's where I started, and I think it's cool that there's an all women's tournament.
Mhm.
And I fish the Bass and Gals too. Like, so there's options for women to just fish with other women that like to do what you like to do, and sometimes that's all it takes to get somebody in the boat. Um, so
So have you fished any? Are you thinking about fishing any tournaments that is just a tournament for anybody can fish, other than
um,
just women tournaments?
Oh, I fish tons of tournaments around. Like I fish every benefit tournament I can on my around here.
You
So all
just
the
did one.
guys know who I am. And I usually fish them with my husband. Those are the tournaments that you see on my YouTube channel. So check it out.
Yeah,
That I'm with
I was
my
just watching
husband.
it.
Yeah, so those are benefit tournaments. Those are our tournaments on different lakes that I do fish, and usually Pam Horn fishes a lot of them that you've seen commenting down there, but it is a smaller number of women that fish it. But yeah, I fish with men a lot more than I do women, because the only tour I fish with women is that Lady Bass Anglers, but the men I fish, the world bass tour that I'm fishing Friday, like that's going to be primarily men. Um,
Are you
so
going
I
to be
do.
a boater? You're going to be a boater?
Well, Vanetta, I'm going to use her boat. She's close, but it's going to be two women in a boat.
Okay.
And we'll make the decisions together. But she lives right there on the lake, so it's just easier for us to use her boat. And so we're going to show them what two women can do in a boat. So hopefully we come out with that win. But I'm pretty hopeful for us. So
So let's give you some a couple bass fishing things. So would you rather have, because most of your lakes are all clear, right?
what?
Clear. Does he need a beer? Is he trying to get you to get him up, get a beer or something? Is he being
No, I think I'm saying something wrong because he told me that I need to say World Fishing Tour. I don't know what I was saying, but apparently I was saying something wrong.
the so when you fish there, you're fishing pretty much lakes and everything, and it's pretty much all. Is it all clear, or do you like fishing all clear? Or do you like a clear lake, or do you like a little dirty, a little dirtier water?
Yeah, I look for the color. So both the lakes up here, Bull Shoals and Table Rock, they're pretty clear lakes. And but I always try. I ran about 25 minutes just to look for colored water. So I do like colored water, but my colored water compared to your colored water, I don't know if it's any different. It's pretty. I get distracted with these questions.
Okay, you can see him. I'll keep bringing him up, but
Okay, I can see him. Yeah, Cheryl's a great fisherman. You need to follow her too. I fished the World Bass Tour with her on Bull Shoals, and we did really well.
is Pam? I'm sorry. Is Pam that's on here? Is she part of it too?
Yeah, yeah,
Then,
Pam is and Cheryl is.
then why don't we why don't you maybe after a tournament? Why don't you get all you girls come on one night? You can have two, three, a couple of you guys to come on, and you can hang out on a Tuesday night, and you all can talk about fishing.
Hey,
Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, that'd be fine with me. The
yeah,
more
you won't be
bring them
able
all
to talk,
together.
but yeah, I think that'd be great.
I'm surrounded by women here. Why not be surrounded by
Yes.
women on there, right?
We would love that. I mean, especially even pushing our women's tour that we're trying to get going and get growing. So, yeah, I'm sure that Cheryl, Pam, you guys would love to do that. And
So
they're
where
more insightful than I am. So,
so what's the pretty much the area that this tournament runs in? Is it different? So you guys are going to go to different states each time, or is it in a certain area? So where's usually this? Does it change every year?
it changes every year. So I think it's more this. I would say southish because like I've been to Alabama, Georgia, like there's South Carolina, Texas, Louisiana, Missouri, Oklahoma. So those are the states that like it's been at. But like I said, Lori, who also commented on there, she's up north, and she does it. She has the federation up north for Two Chicks in a Boat. So we do. There's a lot of, if you really look at it, there's quite a few women um, bass fishing circuits
Mhm.
that kind of correlate with the Lady Bass Anglers Association, which is the big circuit that you can make it to our classic.
Okay.
And so they're in Indianapolis, I believe.
Is that where the class her is going to be? Classic
Uh,
her,
the
Bassmaster her. Is that what you said?
no,
Or is it-
the LBA Classic is in Oklahoma
Okay.
on Grand Lake. So, but there's federations around the states that can qualify for the Lady Bass Anglers Classic. They
Okay.
have to score. They have to be the top team or the top anglers in their division to qualify for that classic, which is awesome to do. So, but there's a northern team, and then there's a couple southern teams that will be able to qualify.
That's awesome. This has been fun. I
Yeah,
think I hope you enjoyed. I'm so glad you came on. I was
yeah.
kind of, I had my buddy Rashawn here in Maryland. We have the invasion of the northern snakehead. So it's let me hold up. I think I got a picture of me with one.
Never caught one or seen it or had one.
That's a snakehead.
Yeah,
They can get pretty big. They can
yeah,
get we have problem. That's an invasive species here in Maryland, and it's really, really and this is another one. This is another one of my PBs, that big giant 41 inch. That's a blue catfish.
dang.
The so here in Maryland, on the Potomac. So you've heard of the Potomac
Hmm.
in DC, the
Yeah,
Potomac,
yeah.
Potomac River. Well,
Hmm.
the snakeheads were introduced around DC Potomac area, and the snakeheads got really, really big down there. And unfortunately for me, unfortunately, it ended up spreading right now through the Chesapeake Bay. The snakeheads are everywhere. They're not as bad. So the invasive species, the blue cat and the northern snakehead, they're fun to catch. They're probably one of the best freshwater fish to eat. Really,
Oh,
really, they're really, really good to eat. There are several federations that there is a connection to the LBAA,
yeah.
East
That's
Texas
what I was trying to tell
Angler,
you.
Women's
Yeah,
Bass Pro Tour, Two Chicks in a Boat Team Trail, and the Indiana Bass and Gals. Bass
yeah.
and
They,
Gals.
that's what I was trying to tell you.
We have, yeah. These don't taste. These don't take. Yeah, they taste delicious. You'll be really surprised.
Wow.
They can get big. They get big fast, and so we have that. So even though a lot of YouTubers that I know, that I hang with, they love the snakeheads, and I've been promoting the tournaments. As you can see,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
saw that.
it's really gotten a lot of younger people in the fishing. It's gotten people probably hasn't picked up a fishing rod in a long time to go fishing for them. They're fun. Um,
Hmm.
I I don't put any back. They used to want you to kill them all, but now you can put them back. You can't transport them. You can't take them out. You can't move them. That kind of thing. That's how invasive they are.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so they're fun. We get you on one of them, you might not go back to bash. That's what they say. Right?
I
So
don't know.
we had the back and forth with these guys because I'm a bass fisherman, but me, I take everyone with me no matter which one I catch.
Mhm.
I take them home and I fillet them, and they are always on table fare, so they're very good to eat. You come up here to
Cool.
Potomac, you might be able to get into one.
All
The
right.
so other than that, so what's your goal, your end goal for the year? One tournament, AOI, or you have an AOI?
Yeah, we have AOI. I don't think I don't got it this year, but I just want to be fishing. The more I can get out on my boat and the experience that I can get, the better I'm gonna be. And so, uh, I've just been this whole year. I've been fishing as many tournaments as I can to get the experience that I need to be a confident boater and being able to adjust and stuff like that. So by the end of the year, I mean, I want to be, which I don't necessarily. I hope that I'm like I I know that I can hang. That's what I guess I want to be able to hang with these other ladies and these other like male the benefit tournaments. I fished that one a benefit tournament that had 50 boats in it, and we were top 10, and that was with my
Yeah,
husband.
yeah.
So
Hey,
so you
that
see
is,
it, so like that's my goal is to just really um just grow myself, grow my channel, um, and get more viewers and get more women to say, okay, I think I can do that. Look at her fishing, like showing
yeah,
off like the LBA of how a tournament kind of looks, and then to be like, okay, I can do that. Let's do this. So so that's kind of Travis right there. He's the
and
director
accurate.
now of the Lady Bass Anglers Association. It used to be Cheryl and Secret, and they did a fantastic job. But he's taken it over, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's really, really, really passionate about growing the sport as well. And so if I can help anybody and grow the ladies and have some sort of encouragement for them, then that's my goal at the end of the year is to be able to be like, hey, I mean, even this past tournament, I had people that actually wanted to fish with me. They were like, "Oh, I was so happy that I drew you." Like my buddy Rachel and the ones that I drew that they wanted to fish with me, and I was like, "Really?" I'm new, like, but I try to put that footage in, and I want to be that example of how fun it could be, and I want to be the teach people and just fish like so I think that's my goal is to just be able to help the sport grow in itself with my YouTube channel and fishing as a boater and showing that you just got to start. That's all you got to do is just pick up a pole and go.
What I'll tell you about YouTube is, remember, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. Even though I am under 100 away to hit 5,000 subscribers. So if anybody listening would please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, would be awesome.
Yeah.
I was working on a video. Today. How can people follow you? If you go to, I have her YouTube channel pinned in the chat. So when you go onto the chat, you should be able to see it as soon as you come onto the chat. That goes right to her YouTube channel, and you can check her. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I have Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Yeah.
I tried to
Cindy
find you on
Adler
Instagram and
Jackson.
tag you because I posted, I
Um,
advertised earlier, but there was only one. It didn't look like you, and I don't know. It was your name, Cindy Adler Jackson. It was on there, and then it wasn't you. And I
huh.
didn't I tagged it, and then I started looking through the pictures. I'm like, no, I don't think that's her.
Yeah, mine's private, so you wouldn't have been able to see it. So that wasn't me.
Okay.
Oh,
The so I will go to YouTube. She's really fun. It was kind of fun watching her and her husband kind of goof around. As she's catching fish, he's stuffing his face with a sandwich, kind of like when you're catching crabs. I'm just stuffing my face with a sandwich, right?
yeah,
The
everybody can relate.
But you are more than welcome, and all the ladies, if you guys want to get together and have a nice big round table of a bunch of women, ladies and women and girls, it doesn't matter, to talk fishing and how to grow it. It'd be fine with me.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's cool. I think now is a great opportunity with all the I don't know if I apologize. The shit show that's going on with the gentlemen and the guys and bass fishing between MLF and bass. I think that the sponsors, maybe, I don't know if they're even getting frustrated. I know it's really tough times with the economy and everything, but I'm telling you, I think the women right now really have a big opportunity to really get some half decent sponsors and big sponsors to come in and help. And I think if you keep pushing your channel, and you keep, putting them out there, before you know it, you might get a couple good sponsors and stuff like that. It'll work. It's unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's no, not unfortunately. Fortunately, it's going to be a lot of work.
I'm not doing it. All I'd have to do is push a button. My husband does all of my filming. So he's the IT guy, and all I have to do is push a button to record, and I still mess that up sometimes. And we have a dash cam. And so thankfully, like, he does all that and he loves it, and it's his little thing
Use
yeah.
looping. Make sure you
So
use looping. You use looping on your camera, your GoPros. Looping. When you go, if you go, so what you can do, if you got your GoPro powered all day, it's good powered, right? You got everything powered, it powers all day. You don't have to like press a button all the time every time you catch a fish. So the whole time you're fishing, your GoPro's running.
my dash one is.
So what you can do is that you go to looping and set it to a 5-minute loop. All right. So what it'll do, it'll save your SD card. You won't be switching all kind of SD cards, using up all kind of space. So what'll happen is that you just hit play, and then it'll go up to 5 minutes. And then what it'll do is stay at 5 minutes and start erasing everything. So when you catch a fish, you do whatever you got to do. And then once you press stop, it'll save the last 5 minutes that you fished. So you can catch that last 5 minutes. So it'll save your SD card, and you just got to remember to turn it off, because a lot of times you'll catch that fish and you'll forget, but it'll save. And what it'll do for your husband, it'll break it down. So when you got 5 minutes, and the GoPro will break that 5 minutes down into 1-minute segments.
Okay.
So looping will save you SD card. I mean,
yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll tell him, because I don't know what that means, but but he'll know, and he'll tell me how to do it. So, but there's other anglers that are like Pam and Cheryl and Carly, like Joe, like they have all channels too. So maybe they can take away from that too.
Yeah, now if you're like catfishing, if you're going with something like a catfish, it might take you 10 minutes to bring in, there's a 20-minute looping. All it's really going to do is going to keep your camera at 5 minutes. So when you catch your fish and you weigh it and you show it, you do whatever you're going to do to it, just turn the camera off. It saves that last 5 minutes, and then you just hit play again, start again, and then it'll do it again.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, this has been fun. Is there anything that you tell everybody where to? What's it? Easier editing. Yep. There's Colin. Hold on, let me see. I was explaining to the Corey to the Bowl Shoals.
Okay. Maybe he knows then.
Everything's coming fast now. Hold on. Ladies like you, Pam, Cheryl, Carly, Joe, that are filming will change the sport. Yeah, Cheryl, it's fun. It's fun talking. It's fun talking. I haven't talked bass fishing in a long time. I really kind of, I don't know. This last year, I won't lie to you, haven't done any tournaments. I haven't done anything. It's just local tournaments. It's just a bunch of, some of them are just some older retired guys, but sometimes we'll have about 11, anywhere from 5 to 15 boats out there. It depends. And it's just a local club that fishes around my area all the time. And it's fun. The 8-hour thing is it gets to me out there once in a while. It's like, as you get a little bit older. I know I look like I'm only 40, but I'm a little bit older than that. But I want to thank you for coming on. This is really awesome. What I'll do is I'll keep in touch with you, and we can do it after the holiday. If you all, after your next tournament or something, and you guys want to come on and talk about it, that would be awesome. We can all sit here and share a beer.
Yeah, I think I could easily get you a group of ladies to do that. So yeah, I look forward to that.
Cindy, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everybody check her in the comments. I got her YouTube channel pinned to the comments. So go click on it. Make sure you subscribe. Good bass fishing, smallmouth bass fishing. I've only caught one little smallmouth, but this big once. That's it. It's all been largemouth for me.
Oh, that's sad.
Listen to her. Yes, you pitiful man.
They're fun. They're so much fun.
Well, I tell you honest truth. I'll tell you honest truth. I was actually heading down to Virginia this weekend. Unfortunately, what happened with the work truck, it did not throw anything. And the weather's going to be really crappy this weekend. But I was heading down to Virginia off the Rappahannock, where we were going to do red fishing the first day, and then the next day we were going to go try to do some smallmouth fishing on the Rappahannock. So unfortunately, we had to cancel this weekend, but we're going to go back. I'll be back down there soon. Pam, thank you for the encouragement, Sam, and for the hopeful that the sponsors should jump on board with us. We love pictures and promoting the sport. Yep. I think you guys have an opportunity right now. So if you guys really start pushing your content out there, I think you'll really be noticed. Thumbnails, tell a story. Thumbnails, tell a story. Thumbnails. Don't worry about the subscribers. You want views. Remember that.
All right. Yes.
All right. I'll see you.
Sam.
You have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
All right, everybody. I'll see you later. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you later. We'll do it next Tuesday. I have Matt from the Chop Tank River Keepers. He's going to come on and talk about all the conservation and everything he's doing out here on the Chop Tank River that I live so close by. And then we're going to have the week after that it's a Tuesday after. Let me do this real quick. Tuesday after the Tuesday of Memorial Week. So Monday's Memorial Day. Tuesday, I will be having Beer and Bass Radio guys, their podcast. They'll be coming on. And I will have Thomas from Fishing the DMV podcast. He will be coming on. And all of us are going to be talking nothing but bass fishing in 2 weeks. All right. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe.